My name is Stella. I'm 28, and for the past 5 years, my entire world has been wrapped around the Daily Crumb, my bakery, my home, my everything. It's small, but mine. Every muffin, every batch of cinnamon rolls, every sleepless night built by me. No investors, no partners, no bullshit. Meanwhile, my older brother Mason, he's been cruising through life on good looks, half-baked ideas, and our parents' unlimited belief in his potential. I busted my ass working double shifts and finishing college. He dropped out, launched a sock store, and somehow got cash for a website and a camera crew. Still, I kept showing up to family dinners. I brought cupcakes. I listened to everyone pretending his latest failure was just a slow start. Then I got the call. Mom sounded way too chipper, which is always a red flag. Family dinner this Saturday. Very important. Mason and Leah will be there. Oh, bring your lemon poppy seed muffins, and maybe one of those celebration cakes you do so well. Yeah, celebration. The moment I walked into their fancy, formal house, I knew something was off. Everyone was already there. Aunts, uncles, cousins. I was late, but not by much. The cake was barely out of the box before Mom whisked it away like it was some kind of centerpiece for their ritual. And of course, Mason shows up late with Leah, his girlfriend, who's very visibly pregnant. Everyone claps. Literally claps. He grins like he invented babies. Dinner was just tension and forced small talk. They kept throwing around phrases like stability, future, family growth. I just kept sipping my wine and waiting for the trap. And then Mom stood up, tapped her glass, and delivered the news. Mason and Leah are expecting. Isn't that wonderful? Applause. Cheers. I clapped too. I'm not heartless. But then her tone shifted. She looked right at me and said, Stella has done such a great job with her little bakery. And now it's time for family to help each other. What came next? A proposal. No, a demand. They wanted me to give 40% of the Daily Crumb, my entire business, to Mason, as an investment in his new startup. A bakery I built from flour and fucking stress. For his next pipe dream. And that's when I snapped. The room went dead quiet after Mom casually suggested I hand over nearly half of my business to Mason. Like I was some sort of fairy godmother of cash and croissants. I stared at them. At Mason, puffed up like a discount CEO. At Leah, cradling her baby bump like it was some kind of emotional blackmail. At my parents, who were nodding like this was the most reasonable idea in the world. You want 40% of my business? I finally said, my voice catching between disbelief and laughter. Are you serious? Dad leaned in like I was missing the point. Mason's your brother. He needs support now more than ever. Support, I said, standing up. I gave up everything to build my bakery. I worked for every cent. Mason wants to skip the struggle and cash in on my hard work. And you all think that's fair. That's when things got ugly. Mason stood up too, his voice rising. This isn't about fair, Stella. It's about family. You wouldn't even have the bakery if it weren't for us. Wrong move. You've done nothing for me, I snapped. Not one of you has lifted a finger for the bakery. But now that it's finally successful, suddenly it's a family business. The room erupted. Aunt Caroline gasped like someone died. Uncle David tried to smooth things over with some awkward dad joke. Leah muttered something about me valuing money over family. And then the gravy. My mother, the same woman who once lectured me about keeping my temper in check, picked up the entire dish of hot gravy and threw it at me. Let me repeat that. She threw a bowl of gravy at her daughter. It splattered across my chest, burned through my shirt, ruined my clothes, and soaked my hair. Everyone froze. And just when I thought that was the lowest moment, Mason shoved me. Physically shoved me, screaming, "Get out." I staggered, caught myself on the edge of the table, and just stood there, dripping in gravy, in shock, in rage. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and started documenting the whole thing. Their shouting, their insults, the pure fucking madness of it all. Then I walked out the door without a word. I got home that night covered in gravy, emotionally wrecked, but something inside me had clicked. I was done being the quiet one, the easy target, the backup plan. And then I remembered the lake house, the one Grandma Eleanor left in her will. I pulled out the old document she'd given me years ago. And there it was. To my grandchildren, Mason and Stella, I leave the lake house to be held in joint tenancy. Joint. Equal rights. That house wasn't just Mason's playground. It was mine too. And with joint tenancy, I had the legal right to force a sale. So I called a lawyer. Jeremy Blackwell, calm and sharp as a knife, listened to everything. The bakery, the The betrayal, the gravy, the threats. When I told him I wanted to sell the house, he looked me in the eye and said, "Then we'll make it happen." The notice went out, and the rage poured in. My parents screamed over voicemail, "You're making your own brother homeless. You heartless little witch." They showed up at my building banging on the door. I recorded everything, the shouting, the threats, even Aunt Caroline's dramatic wails about family legacy. My mother made a Facebook post painting me as a monster. But I had the proof, the truth. When mediation day came, I walked into Jeremy's office in a navy suit like I was walking into battle. My parents, Mason and Leah, came with scowls, silence, and guilt poorly disguised as pride. Their lawyer tried to play the family sentiment card. Jeremy calmly hit back with everything: the will, the harassment, the assault. He even played a voicemail where my mom called me a failure and a greedy little bitch. And then came the fake waterworks. "Stella, please," my mom sobbed. "I didn't mean to throw the gravy. We're family." But I didn't flinch. "You didn't just throw gravy. You threw away every ounce of respect I had for this family. You tried to take what I built. You showed me exactly where I stand. So now I'm showing you where I stand. The house will be sold. Final decision." They signed the papers. Silently, furiously. The lake house sold fast. Mason got his cut. So did I. He used it as a down payment on a modest house, with my parents living under his roof now. Me? I reinvested in the Daily Crumb, bought the apartment above it, and made it mine. No more rent. No more begging for approval. No more being the family's fallback plan. I hear things from time to time. People say I'm difficult, that I abandoned my family. But I have peace. I have security. I have my life. And when I smell fresh bread at 6 a.m., I smile because I built all of this with my own damn hands.